The Reserve Bank of Australia is creating money out of thin air. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I have my stein of coffee, and I thought we'd have a look at this news.com.au article, which is drawing attention to just the way, or how, the RBA creates money. Out of thin air, out of nothing. Now, if you have not watched the Hidden Secrets of Money series on YouTube, I highly recommend it. Definitely look it up, watch the whole series. I think it's very, very interesting, and some of the predictions there seem to be manifesting now. But let's have a look at this article, because frankly, a lot of people don't understand how money is created, or should we say currency is created, and just how everything we work and strive for is only really of value to people because it is the mechanism we have to compensate the state for under threat of violence or arrest or loss of our liberties. We don't pay our taxes, everyone. The state can use force against us. So we all rush to work to claim these little pieces of money that we can use to make these payments. So Peter Schiff says a good example, that money is the certificate that you have to give the local bully, so he won't beat you up, but just at a state and national level, or at least the fiat currency that we have. It's an interesting perspective when you think about it. So let's have a look at this article so more people can understand or just be exposed to how they can print it out of thin air or type it out of thin air. While shedding light on Australia's economic recovery from the virus pandemic, the RBA boss has spoken about how he can print more money. Now, here's the consideration. The definition of inflation has apparently been changed. It used to be simply when you increase the amount of money in a system. Now that's happening. When money enters the system, through any mechanism, there is a special outcome. There is an effect, and this is called the Cantillon effect. Now it refers to a change in relative prices resulting from a change in money supply. The change in relative prices occurs because the change in money supply has a specific injection point and therefore a specific flow path through the economy. Now here in Australia, we have an obsession. We have an obsession. And I will bring up a chart. I will bring up a chart that will probably let you realize, or let you understand what that obsession is. It's with property. We are property mad. About 57% of the wealth of our civilization has been funneled into property one way or another. I've got viewers sending me stuff on Facebook about people posting how property is always going to go good, always going to shoot to the stars. And I mean, property, it's a physical, real thing, as opposed to investing in the stock market. It's something you can use, you can live in. So there's certain advantages of it. Yeah, there's certain advantages. That people are going to be they're going to pull every single stop to make sure they can keep their house over their family. They're not going to do that to keep their stock portfolio. They're going to do everything they can. So there's an emotional aspect attached to property. Now, let's have a look here at just how, because of getting back to this, because of our property obsession, I got off track like always. More and more money gets created. The supply materializes in property. Whenever you go and sign a mortgage, that bank doesn't have the money sitting there, doesn't transfer it from Johnny's savings account into yours. They type the numbers in your account, boom, it gets credited. It gets created. So this money supply is getting created in the property sector, and it becomes an asset for the bank, and it materializes. So that's why we're getting, one reason I'd argue we're getting that bubble and the increase in prices, because it seems to be the mechanism that most people are, the mechanism that most money is created in Australia. Dr. Lowe, Australian Prudential Regulatory Authority Chair Wayne Byers, and Australian Security and Investment Commission Chair James Shipton are appearing via video conference before the Pandemic Committee hearing. During the questioning, Centre Alliance Senator Rex Patrick asked for the RBA chief to just help me out with a bit of 101 monetary policy. Asked to explain where the RBA got its money from, Dr. Lowe explained he could create it out of thin air. And this is the problem. This is what we're seeing happen in the United States, where they've admitted they can just print money forever. And there's a few people concerned with that because, the worry is that we'll reach a point of hyperinflation where money will, confidence will just disappear or dissipate and money will just keep going and becoming less and less valuable. We've seen that happen throughout history. It's happening in Venezuela and Argentina right now. Now, the modern monetary theorist or the magic money theorists believe that they can manage that complex system. You can manage how much, regulate, control how much you put out there and then take money out again. How do they take money out? Taxation. So we suffer for it. So we're all on this crazy ride. We're really at the whims of this central body. Can it work? Has it worked in the past? Well, no, it never has. Do we know better now? Are our models more complex, more sophisticated? We'll have to wait and see. Well, their wage modeling ability is, from the RBA, is ludicrous. I'd argue that the further out you go in a complex system and the more variables you have, the less accurate your ability to predict future outcomes can be. That's the position I would put forward. So I'm concerned that we have a system like this where money can be printed out of thin air. And every time money is created, guys, out of thin air, every time it's created, it decreases our purchasing power. It's something we all lose right now. Every time money is created, every dollar we have slightly loses its capacity to buy. And they'll take time. That's manifesting in property. Remember, property isn't really accounted for in inflation when the RBA advertises their version of it, or ABS advertises their version of it. If it was, it'd be 0.5% higher than it actually is. It's funny that, isn't it? Anyway, so this is the beauty of central banking. Central banks are unique entities, and they can create money, he said. So central banks overseas can create money. The United States can create money. Other countries aspire for it. And then they can create that money and come in and buy assets of other nations. We're the only entity in the country which can create money just out of nothing. So that's why it's very important that governance around the process is very strong. Obviously, that could be abused if you could just create money out of thin air to finance government expenditure without checks and balances. And he's right there. He's right there. That is the historical concern. That's what everyone's worried about. And you've got people doing different strategies to hedge against that. You've got people investing in precious metals in the hope that that will be a hedge against potential hyperinflation. You've got people expecting the Australian dollar to plunge and jumping into the US. You've got other people who are jumping into crypto, hoping that the scarcity built into Bitcoin will provide some protection. And you've got other people who are jumping into property thinking that it will continue to go up simply because you're betting against the Reserve Bank, because they'll just be printing, and that's where the money will be going in. So, it'll be interesting to see. What do you think? Which approach do you think is the right one? Frankly, I'm diversifying, but don't take financial advice from an architect. We're the worst people to give it. Dr. Lowe has been talking up the need to restore business and consumer confidence, while noting the ultimate key to recovery hinges on the development of a medical treatment for the virus. Does it? Or is it that we develop immunity to the virus, we overcome it? I suspect, honestly, that most people, it's been much more prevalent than most people have realized. A lot of people have had it and recovered. We'll have to see, guys. He told a forum last week the faster that restrictions can be lifted safely, the sooner and stronger the economic bounce back will be, and the less economic scarring will take place. This is what he really meant, or this is the real reason here. Treatment, well, we already have treatments. We already have methods in place. Maybe we just need to ensure our medical capacities can handle that. Finance Minister Matthias Cormann backed the call for the economy to be restored back to normal as soon as possible. Well, okay, the economy won't be It's not about the economy being restored. It's about our freedoms being restored. It's about having everyone in house arrest being removed. It's about stopping border closures, because that is what's impacting the economy. They can't. The thing is, they're not going to be able to just switch the economy on like that. Consumer behaviors have changed. People don't trust. They don't trust that everything's going to be okay. Consumer confidence, well, wrong thing. Consumer confidence is in the gutter, guys. It is in the gutter. He said the government had planned for the worst 2 months ago, but Australia was now close to eliminating the spread of the virus. This has led to a change of parameters when it came to the federal budget and spending. We, of course, are working now on the transition out of the period of temporary measures to support the economy, he told ABC. In that context, of course, we will be announcing a whole series of measures, including, and in particular, through the budget on October 6th, to maximise the strength of our economic recovery. So there you have it, guys. A whole lot of people introduced to the fact that the RBA can print money out of thin air, and we'll have to see what it will entail for Australia, what the government will do with their measures in the next budget. I think, frankly, anything could be on the table. It's definitely something to keep an eye on. What are your suggestions? What do you think the state will do? As always, guys, thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and you'd like to support the channel, there are a few ways you can. You can join us here on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us via our affiliate links at Amazon or eBay or Independent Reserve and Kucoin. You can buy a merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, guys, and I'll see you next time.